I'd say right now we don't have a consensus-driven system.
Yeah, right now we have a selected board that makes decisions, and it needs consensus among the board, but there's no accountability in the board to the membership.
We have a autocracy. We have a board class that makes decisions, and then, I mean, there's codified rules, you know, but those are things that can be ignored, are ignored sometimes, aren't ignored other times. Like, codified rules aren't rules; they're interpretations.
Well, until somebody decides to sue you for it.
Right. Exactly. And then you just made an interpretation that backfires on you.
Right.
You know?
So I guess my concern would be to, in some way, shape, or form, preserve or protect not just the concerns of a minority, but so like my philosophical position about democracies is that they invariably wind up getting screwed up because it's impossible to balance well the rights of the majority with the rights of the minority against the will of the majority.
And I agree with you that if we are ignoring the needs of a minority within our group, that we're doing it wrong. However, if one person is against us making an improvement, for instance, we shouldn't not install a mezzanine because one person doesn't think we should have a mezzanine.
Well, yeah, and I guess
most of that person is right.
Well, my understanding of consensus is that the ability to block must only be used judiciously and with extreme reservation. Like, if you're going to block something, you need to be darn sure that you're not just doing it because you don't like it.
I understand that.
But there needs to be rules that explain how you're doing that. Like, if you're going to block, then you better be darn sure that you're going to stand up and you're going to lay out your bullet points on why you are making a sound decision, and you're going to be able to convince somebody. If you can't lay out your point and make somebody understand it, then maybe it isn't a sound decision. That's what the rules are for, to make it so that it's done judiciously.
And while I understand that in theory, consensus-driven organization should be led with that sort of maturity, I don't expect all of our members to have that level of maturity. I think that's...
Are you being a realistic person and I'm being an optimist?
I think this may be the realistic versus optimistic debate.
Okay.
And I think we could, structure it some way that if somebody, really has an objection to something, they could call for a vote among, figure out some way to structure it so somebody could call for a vote among the membership about something, and then, then they would have their opportunity to make the case to the wider membership. If there's a decision by the board that they don't like. But I think especially as you grow, at a 50-person organization, we might be able to be a peer consensus organization, but if we break 100 people, then,
it'd be exceedingly tedious.
Then we run the risk of, one person with a temper tantrum blocking.
And I want to be able to run this organization. I want us to be 1,000 people. I really do. I think 1,000 is possible within 5 years, and maybe we can be bigger.
So I just want to be clear that I'm not opposed to being a cooperative. I want more information.
Okay. Will you go with me to slice.coop?
If I can, yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to.
Yeah, they've got work trade for 2 hours of work. They'll bump your ticket down to $30, and if you can get a scholarship, you can get it for free.
Cool.
About that, since Slice is technically a weird offshoot of the Central Co-op, the people who are running the Slice thing are also running the Central Co-op thing, and the Central Co-op people are also sponsoring Thrift Camp. It might be possible for me to get some of, get you in for free, get a ticket knocked down.
Well, they've got a scholarship process that's very clear on their website, and I'm going to apply for it.
Yeah.
And if I don't get a scholarship, I'm going to say I will do what work you need me to do to get in, and if I don't, I do not mind paying $60 to be there.
Nice. Yeah. But I mean, they're good people. They'll listen. They'll appreciate your work and they'll reward you for it.
Great. Yes, I'll make those socks.
Are there any other questions, or can I sit down and have a beer?
Drink.
Beer.
Awesome. Let's
Beer.
cut the video.